Welcome to the Lee Works YouTube channel. I'm Steve, one of the founders, and we're a co-working space based in Lee. We have a lot of cool stuff here, and we've got some interesting businesses as well, so we thought we'd do some videos and put them on YouTube, and hopefully it'll be something that you guys will find interesting as well. So we're going to kick things off with the Electronics Lab PC, which is something that we built in-house just for a bit of fun, really. This is our Electronics Lab PC. It looks pretty unassuming. Looks like an old 90s PC, maybe something that you'd have so you've got access to a serial port, or maybe for running legacy DOS programs. But that's definitely not the Windows 95 logo. What it actually is a very modern PC. It's running an Intel i7 and an NVIDIA GTX. So this is really just a modern PC that we've retrofitted into this old 90s case. Here's the Olivetti case. It's a small form factor case containing a 486 and 4 meg of RAM. Back in the day, this was something pretty special, and even by today's standards, it's tiny. Yet it's still got room for a slimline floppy drive, 3.5-inch hard drive, a built-in speaker, and a single ISA expansion card. The only modification we need to do is remove this back panel. It was cut out using a Dremel and a hacksaw along the existing seams, so it will fit back in place and it could be glued back together. But we don't need this for now. After measuring the case carefully with some digital calipers, I came up with this new design. I found the dimensions for the ITX cutouts and mounting holes online and added a vent in the same style as the original case. Then I laid out all the parts and converted the model into the format needed for the laser cutter. This is the 100-watt laser cutter that we have on site, and it's capable of cutting 10mm thick acrylic or wood. You can see the red targeting laser on the side. This is just like an ordinary laser pen. The cutting is done by a CO2 laser tube that's underneath the bed. The tube stays still and the beam is reflected up to the moving head through a series of prisms, and then it's focused on the surface. There are a few different glues that you can use to stick acrylic, but I prefer cyanoacrylite, which is really just a fancy word for superglue. This particular brand comes in several different viscosities, which is great because you can choose the perfect glue for the job at hand. Here we have the medium viscosity Rocket Rapid and the thicker viscosity Rocket Max. The Rocket Blaster is a spray that's used to instantly cure the glue after everything's in place. You can also use this along with the thicker glue to fill gaps and strengthen joints. There's a lot more I could talk about on superglue and other glues, so I might do a video on that in the near future. Another popular glue for bonding acrylic is Tensol, but we'll leave that for another time. The final bond that you get with cyanoacrylite isn't the strongest, but used in conjunctions with the mechanical fixings on this design, or if you use it on a large flat surface, you can get a permanent bond. The advantage is though, it sets instantly, so you don't need to bother with clamps or jigs, and you get to see the results right away. The final step is to replace these rear plastic bezels. The chassis was designed to be a perfect fit, so these fit snugly over the new back panel and they click into place. Because of this, we don't need glue, which makes it easier to restore the case back to its original setup if that's what you wanted to do. So that's it, the finished replacement chassis, ready to take some modern hardware. I've fitted this with an Asus Mini ITX board, an i7 CPU and a GTX 1030, although you could actually fit in a GTX 1050 Ti, which is also bus powered, and an SSD. It's using a DC to DC power supply, which I got off eBay and cost about £15, and you just plug that in with a 12-volt laptop style power supply. So there we go. From the front it looks exactly how it did, and round the back it looks decidedly OEM. I'm really happy with how this turned out. It's allowed us to use this broken old PC for something really cool. So that was the Olivetti PC, which is something that we just did as a bit of a fun project. It's just an example of some of the stuff that we do here. There's a lot of stuff that goes on. We do things like 3D printing, electronics, Arduino, Raspberry Pi,
retro PCs, laser cutting, CNC, product design, fabrication. We built a time machine. We do analog photography. There's a dark room. We do software, PHP, HTML, JavaScript, Node, C. We work with smart devices and IoT, things with Zigbee and Z-Wave, Bluetooth Low Energy, Alexa skills, AI, computer vision. There's a lot to cover. So hopefully we're going to do a lot of really interesting videos. So if you want to click subscribe and don't forget to ring the bell, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.